Morning to you, Heidi, for that beautiful song. And back in the studio, we are talking about, let me take you back into time. On December 3rd, 1992, a 22-year-old Canadian test engineer sat down, he actually sat down, and typed out a very simple message, Merry Christmas. It flew over a network to the phone of one Richard Jarvis. And since then, we just haven't been able to stop texting. Now that we have Twitter, we have, what else? WhatsApp, we have, what else do we have? Okay, a few of them. Actually, lots of them. Texting is a major staple of communication now, and by far one of the main uses of a phone for many. In the very beginning, texts were just a way to send network notifications, mainly to let you know you had a voicemail. The situation is not so now. People receive text messages from their network operators. That is where I am so bothered. Unfortunately, a gentleman here is going to have a lot of trouble to deal with this one. Operators concerning so many things like advertisement, directions, and even lotteries, which can be very frequent on one's phone at odd hours. Some of them you can see that they are from my own, as Paul said. This one, I'm the one saying it. Others are from the text. So this morning, we're going to see how it has evolved around us and how impactful, how significant, how good and bad it has been for us. So in our science and technology discussion this morning, I'd like to welcome Scofray Nana Yao Yeboah, Mr. Scofray Nana Yao Yeboah. So how is marriage treating you?
Well, we are on it. It's like an institution.
You have some science and technology in your marriage?
For sure.
I mean, texting and iPad and giving out.
It's all part of it.
It's all part of it. You're a modern man. And I have Abdul Nazar Alidu. I feel like I'm calling some Egyptian name this morning. Good morning, Abdul.
Good morning.
He is actually the head of solutions, all kinds of solution at Tigo.
Good morning.
Our friend from MTN couldn't join us this morning, but we will handle the issue. Scofray is here as a talkative this morning. And thanks be to God, he hasn't suffered any bad effects, so Abdul is going to have a good time. But from me, we'll see how it goes. So, Abdul, how many text messages have you sent in the week so far? Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday?
You mean as Tigo, right?
No, as
myself?
You. Yes.
Frankly, I'm not a very big user.
You never talk for yourself.
SMS. And I'm sure a lot of people know the fact that there's a lot of over-the-top technologies currently that's taking away the traffic from SMS. And I'm one of those that have been affected. So I use a lot more of WhatsApp than SMS.
But it's still in the
in
the family of
texting. Once in a while. I don't think this week. I don't remember using it this week.
How many times is Tigo specifically supposed to send me notification in a day?
So if you are a Tigo subscriber, the maximum you should receive from Tigo would be twice in a week.
Are you sure?
Yes, I'm very sure. That's the rule we have. Now, the thing is, there are several other SMSs that people sometimes confuse for SMSs coming from Tigo. And there are some of them that are also user-generated that people confuse for. The network is sending me SMS. Okay, and that's what...
Even though I'm going to lash at you on your Tigo side, you can also talk all the network sides, and let's see whether it runs through the family or is peculiar to some of you and you just like fomenting trouble. So, Scofray, have you been enjoying your Tigo life? This morning from here, your way, you'll be texting your sweethearts.
Oh, you see, Kuba and always picking up for me, but it's part of it.
I'm not picking up, I'm asking you a question.
I miss you most often anyway. Well, it will not be peculiar to Tigo if you're going to look at texting in the broader perspective. It has come to say, like you already put it, but I will not agree with my brother that per their stipulations, they send only 2 text messages within a week. It's cut across that. Any time telecos get opportunity, you will never ever hear them say A or B, which will at the end of the day go against their marketing.
They like lying. They don't say the truth.
Well, I'm not saying so. I'm not putting words in anybody's.
I'm not using what you can't say.
I'm not putting words in anybody's mouth. But just like David Crystal, who conducted a survey in the area of SMSing and proved that no, there is no way that SMSing is having an effect on student or the general popularity and the English language. When I studied that, and I said, well, as usual, somebody must be paid to do some kind of to counter the reality. But we all know one Daniel Ali in our own one of the polytechnics in Ghana here took time to conduct a survey on the harmful effect of SMSing, and it's staggering. Department upon department are complaining. Many institutions are also complaining that the dispensation, the student who came to meet text messaging, their ability even to put together a wholesome report without seeing a bit of text message slang in it is alarming. English tutors are complaining. The faculty of English in most of the universities are also complaining that this younger generation have resorted to the shortcut way or the slang or the jargons they use in text messaging. That alone, it's a big challenge we have on our hand. Just not forgetting, like you put it, 2 a.m. you'll be there and PPP. Just 2 a.m. this morning, like you said, I had a text from MTN and has not stopped from there. You'll be there, this one will also send you. So sometimes even when you are expecting a text message to act on something, you just wake up out of the sleep because you are expecting something.
Okay.
There are a lot of side effects.
Let's not stretch the entire content in one speech. Let's dilate it one after the other. Abdul, from your side, what is the main purpose of the SMSing?
Okay, so maybe it would be good to look at the various
not when I say from your side, I mean from the network side.
Yes, I know. So the first type of SMS that everybody uses is the P2P SMS, right? That I want to send you an SMS, so I send you an SMS and you get it. That is what we all use and that you know is coming from me. And then there are SMSs that we send that are basically for network notifications or product notification. Basically, you've topped up your account and we send you an SMS to tell you that you've topped up and this is what you have.
That would be N2P. Network to PES.
Or you are running low on your airtime, and then we send you an SMS to remind you that you are running low, just as a courtesy. Then there are also these empties that are really people subscribe to a lot of products, right? So you might subscribe to jokes, subscribe to news and songs, all of those things.
Blah, blah, blah.
And what happens is then the content providers send you these messages at specific times based on what the product is all about. So that's also another type of SMS. And of course, there's the one that is the broadcast that we send for marketing purposes. And that's the one that I'm saying that we restrict it to a maximum of 2 per customer. And there are actually some customers who receive it once in a month. Okay, and those are the ones coming from us promoting certain products.
And these days you have people, I don't know how people get to, so I come to you, okay, give me one code line or something, and then I'll be broadcasting myself.
Okay,
Which
so
one is that one too?
No, so there are privacy laws in this country that need to be respected, right? And so we have some of these content providers come to us for these short codes and want to use it for bulk SMSing purposes. Now, the thing we do though is in all our contracts with these people, we make sure that you don't send SMSs to people who have not opted in. Okay. Unfortunately, not everybody follows that rule. Okay. And if we do realize that you are not following the rule, because I mean, come to think of it, we are serving our customers, right? For us, the concern is having a good customer experience so that our customers continue to stay on the network. And we know that one of the biggest causes of churn in the industry is too much SMSs. So we are concerned about it. We are making efforts to reduce it. The problem is our interests are not always aligned to the interests of the third parties who also sometimes come for these short codes. But what we do is we monitor it very, very strictly. And if we realize anybody is not going according to the regulations, we cut you off.
Okay. We'll go a little detailed and know exactly what the uses are and how people actually get to chance on that opportunity. But Scofray, don't you think it's just, as he used the word courtesy, it's just nice to know that you have just a few credits and then your line could go off, as against just calling and realize I don't have credits, or this information is available to you and you don't really have to go on a big laptop or iPad or anything is right in your palm on your phone. So it makes life comfortable and flexible.
Well, we must admit that any good thing will have its also cons. And like I already put in my earlier submission that I don't expect any teleco to sit on a platform like this and go that A, B, C, D is the effect.
But you as a person,
but
does it benefit you?
Well, it's a two-way affair. Okay, like you put it, if it is to notify me that I'm running out of airtime or I just loaded airtime, I don't think these are the very things we are actually concerned about as a border. No. But when, like he said, you assigned a short code, so if I have any challenge, I will not look at whoever the third party is. It is you, because it is coming out of your system, or it is through your medium that said text comes to me.
Do they pay for that at all?
They pay.
Or we pay for it?
Well, either way we pay. Either user pay and whoever the third party is also pays, and that is why they feel comfortable.
You feel you pay. We will ask Abdul that.
Oh, it's not for free. If I'm not paying, or assuming there's an association I belong to and we are using a short code, at the long run, if the institution pays the teleco, then it is the dues we pay that they're also going to pay for whatever service that they render to us. So in a nutshell, we still do pay. The cumbersome of it is when you'll be there, you are being bombarded series of text messages. Sometimes you just don't even need it. Like I said, this morning, 2 a.m., my phone started back.
Oh, trust me, they sent it around 3 p.m.
Then
it's just delayed.
It is when you want to, amazingly, it is when you want to send that sometimes, a research has proven that 1 to 5% of the SMS we send never gets it to its destination, but you pay for it.
5%.
Yeah, 1 to 5%. 1 to 5%.
5% out of 100.
1 to 5% of the SMS we send does not get to its destination. These are some of the cumbersomeness of what we are talking about when it comes to SMS.
Have you received a certain call from 1001? Yes, you come in. You come in big time. Have you received a certain call from 1001?
There are a couple of them. So you use plus 30 something, and you have to say it's
what is the
voice
1001?
Okay, let me just answer the issue about 5% of SMSs never. There are several reasons why SMSs don't get to their destination. One of them could be that the person's phone is switched off, or the person is out of coverage area, okay, or the person's inbox is full. Now, what happens is when you send an SMS, the SMSs try to send it a number of times. And sometimes we are like, okay, send it once. If you don't get it, send it in another 2 hours. If not, send it in 24 hours. And if you try a couple of times, there's a time period after which the SMS is discarded. And that is what accounts for the fact that. So if the other party is not in a position to receive the SMS will not reach its destination.
But do you get deducted?
So the service we are rendering for you is the ability for you to send the SMS. So if you are on my network and he's on a different network and you send the SMS, there's no way of me necessarily saying I'm not charging you because he put off his phone and you are not able to reach him with the SMS. I mean, and that's one of the, it's like sending an email to an email address that doesn't, that wouldn't receive your email. So there's really nothing I can do about that. And I must say that is not the majority. Okay, that's not the majority, because hardly will you send an SMS to someone that you know is not online. It must be your friend, it must be someone you know. So that's not like the majority of cases. And in my...
But whilst we are at that, there are situations where a friend was complaining to me yesterday about a text I'd sent earlier on in the day. For instance, where it gets to a certain point, your text messages just wouldn't reach its destination, and you can't receive some either at certain times. What would you explain for that as well?
I mean, I'm sure there are always network challenges, right? And like I explained to you, if sometimes the phone is on, but you are in an area without very good network, or perhaps the base station in the area you are is down, but I mean the network, their base station is down. At that point, when they try to send you the message, you don't necessarily get it. I do know that sometimes also, for a few situations, when you send the SMS, there might be a lot of load, and because of that, your SMS doesn't necessarily get through at the time it's supposed to. But these are things that we try very hard to perfect, right? These are things that we try very hard to perfect. You will not necessarily get 100%, right? But you must strive to get somewhere like 99.9%, right? And that's what we strive to do to our customers.
So basically, Scofray obviously doesn't agree to the fact that there should be some 5% margin of error
Well,
in our texting.
And the thing is, I mean, I don't know if it is 5% or 1%.
Between 1 and 5%.
You know, but but the thing is, there are some of these things that you can't prevent the fact that someone will send an SMS to someone whose phone is off. That is not something you can prevent. And that's not something that is within the domain of the network to actually stop.
Do you think that in our part of the world, the network we've been operating with so far, we have the comfort of saying this particular one has a more flexible way of treating us when it comes to SMS than the other? Do we have the cause to complain in that manner?
we have more than cause to complain. It's as if the telecos come from one father but different mothers, because the very promises they make, and sometimes you can check, they run the same sort of, as if they all went into the same boardroom, decided that this is what we are going to do.
I think the industry is just really not.
But when it comes to having value for our money from the telecos, I'm not playing the evil advocate, but this is reality. We are not getting value for our money. It's not true. We are not getting value for our money. I do send bulk messages to colleagues in the sector association. Believe you me, there are times you send a message and somebody will get it in a month's time. Not that the person's phone is off, you know. It has happened to me because my number is in the system itself. And sometimes I get the message.
Which system would that be?
A text message system.
Okay.
And I'll get the message after the said event has passed. And I'm not the only, if I, the person I'm experiencing, how much more my other colleagues. So the idea that, oh, we are getting value, or they are serving us to the best of their interest, I will not take that, because they know. And amazingly, they earn a lot of money out of that, though they don't place a lot of priority as compared to voice calls, where the money is quite huge. But look at the 1 to 5%. Among all the telecos, if each of them is losing, or each of us, the subscribers, are losing 1 to 5% of our text messages that we are billed for, quantify it in money. Look at how much money every time they report their events. It's always going up higher and higher and higher. And it is us. Okay, so when it comes to SMS and in the area of even the quantum of the money aspect alone, it's no joke. So the 1 to 5% issue that I'm talking about must be critical to them, for them to understand that yes, we are also getting aware of what is happening. And also there is an aspect called spoofing, where you'll be there and you can get a text message from an international line and it is being used to dupe a lot of people. People who are not very smart, that you get a text that called this because there's this lottery, and you could tell that it comes with a foreign network or a foreign number. So you are tempted to believe it's credible. Then people have fallen victim of such, and it is called spoofing. They play on the network system using their, is it a roaming or something, that they, before you realize you are receiving such text messages from people that, and when you call back, whatever amount of credit you have on your phone zaps. So this is part of
so what? So
this is part
the
of
trick is to just
you
take in your credit.
You can't explain how, but anytime you try to call such a number, the amount of airtime you have zaps. So what are they? How come people are able to infiltrate or hack into such a system, for which reason the person will be using a number from a far distance?
There's been times where foreign calls come in local network numbers. Is it part of this spoofing thing?
No, that's not it, but that's actually illegal, right? So, but that, and that's not, that's not legal, that's illegal, that's people terminating the calls here illegally, and that, I think the NCA is dealing with that. But I wanted to respond to the fact that we don't necessarily give our customers the best, right? We are in the business to make our customers happy. And that is what will, I mean, that's where we make our money from. It's not in our best interest to get our customers dissatisfied. I mean, that's the first thing. Now, it's a fact that the telecom industry experienced a lot of challenges. And I'm sure recently you saw the news item where the NCA was even complaining about people, galamsey operators, contractors and all of that, cutting our fibers and making it difficult for us to operate. We strive to make things good, okay, but then there are a lot of other things that are outside our control, okay. That notwithstanding, our quality levels in this country are very high, extremely high.
Yeah, listening.
You know, so it's, I mean, it's not like we intentionally don't want to serve our customers right. And just to the point of, you know, receiving spam SMSs from this end. You know, in the past, what had happened was the fact that, you know, a lot of, for instance, internet. People have come up with a lot of security to protect internet so you don't get a lot of these things. We haven't necessarily paid the same attention to SMSs. But lately, we've seen that SMS is also being used as a medium to actually dupe people. So in Tigo, for instance, we've put in place an SMS firewall, and which we put in place this year. And what that's going to do is going to prevent some of the things that you were talking about, where you get spam from outside, from anybody that's trying to dupe you. Because we care about the customer, and we're trying to do this to resolve the customer complaint. And SMSs are not necessarily a significant part of our revenue. It's not like we are making so much money out of SMSs. It's not like we are taking money from people and not rendering a service to them. People are actually, SMS revenues are actually going down. People are stopping the use of SMSs in favor of things like, you know, WhatsApp and other
Those ones
devices.
do not come with benefits to you.
No.
All right. But in the event of trying to secure our SMS space, because that is directly on your network from the explanation you're giving us, how difficult is it for you to interrupt those spams? And beside that, how do they really get access to connect to your network anyway?
I mean, I think they don't connect to our network. They send the SMSs, which end up going through because you're on, which end up terminating on our network. On
how
your
do they
phone.
get to terminate on your network?
If I have your number, I can send an SMS to you, right? So they somehow come up with the numbers and then they send the SMS to them.
Somehow.
What we have, yeah, but I mean, you know the structure of the numbers.
That's the
and all
science
of
and the
those things,
technology
so,
of the
yeah.
whole business.
But what we have done right now is we are able to now recognize which is a genuine SMS and which is not a genuine SMS, which is coming from a host that we are not familiar with, and and we're able to block it. That's the firewall we put in place right now, and that's going to help, you know, reduce some of these things.
I remember the first time I complained about Tigo sending me too many SMSs or notifications. Someone said, that's somebody's job. Somebody comes to work and the person is just supposed to send SMSs
Okay,
to
so
others.
maybe it's time we tackle the too many SMSs. I must admit, in the past years, we've been sending a lot of SMSs. And the reason was there are a lot of value-added services that are coming up, right? One, some of these things, you need to sell them through targeted marketing, where you know somebody's behavior, and because of that, you think they would like the service, and so you send them a message saying, hey, you normally do this, but this is there to actually help you, you know, in what you're doing. And then also a lot of these value-added, this vast resellers that come to us also have to sell their product. So sometimes we give them quotas to be able to market to our subscriber base, to let our subscriber base know that they have these products available. And then also, because of these things, what happens is customers get an SMS promoting a certain product, they subscribe to that product, and then they start receiving messages from that particular product, and then they get angry because they are not...
We didn't think it was going to be regular like that.
They didn't think it was going to be like that. You understand?
Now,
the thing is, we have realized all of these things, and we've put in place, actually in Tigo, we have a project in place right now which aims at reducing the number of SMSs our customers receive. And that's yielding very good results. And so if you were a Tigo subscriber, you realize that from the beginning of this year to now, the number of SMSs you actually receive on your phone would have gone down considerably.
I think
because of the things that we are putting in place.
I think so, but it's better to remember the past.
And I can give you the statistics.
The past misfortunes and pain, and then we enjoy the present ones. But Scofray, comparing to where it all started from, I mean, where good phones, smartphones are giving out to be paid in installment, and chips come for free, and you know, and I mean, where most of the, what do you call, the products on the networks really are in use because of the terrain. Do you think we are really getting good bargain here? Now they keep bringing out more products one after the other, and it even becomes competition among the telcos. But so far, you think SMS and all the conference, whatever it is that we are receiving, is really helping us as much as we are to?
Well, in business-wise, I think they are doing well. In business, they are doing well because it gets them. If he says it gives them minute amount of money, then they should give us tax free. If it's not getting any amount of money, they should give us to tax free. That is one.
No,
then two,
I really want to speak now. Oh, you
then two, the
about
effect of SMS on us, the user. That is what my challenge is, because a research in the United States 2008 by Bashpedia says that 800,000 people are texters in a particular duration, but 600 out of these texters had accident. That means they do it in the process of driving. And now we've become so addicted to, let me put it in general, not only with telecos, but in the area of where we do typing or in whatever platform. It is the challenge that I have with the users. So I believe that we must be conscious of the effects.
Scofray, I'm not cutting through you, but this is the part that we will invite you to join us with your calls. So if you have anything you want to talk about the effects, the impacts, the positives and negatives of SMSing, and whether you even want to advocate that, don't text whilst driving, you can join us with your call 0302 770 111, 0302 770 111. Let's hear you and what you have to say about the topic or the discussion this morning. And I think I already have a friend on the line. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
All right.
Please,
so the phone lines are open.
like
you can join us with
inquiry
your
about
experiences, suggestions, and maybe any question that you want to put out to the telcos represented by Tego and Abdul Nazar for that matter.
And you know, I do agree with Scott on the fact that we need to be responsible in the use of our phones. It's not only with text messages, it's with calls and all of those things. Because yes, phones are the cause of a lot of accidents and a lot of even unproductivity because people are so addicted to their phones. And so I would agree with you here that we need to advocate that people should be a lot more responsible.
I will not even ask you why you are laughing. But if you try 0302 770 111 and it doesn't come through, you can try 0302 770 222 and let's have your say. But do you think you've actually introduced us to all the necessary uses when it comes to SMS and how WhatsApp and the rest are free and quick and easy and all that?
WhatsApp is actually not necessarily free because you are using your data to do WhatsApp.
Yeah.
Okay, so
not the free pass, but
yes, so you are doing it over.
Abdul, please hold that thought. Let's pick our friend on the line. Hello, good morning.
Yeah, I'm
Hello, good morning.
Yeah, I think most of the network.
Yeah, we are scientifically and technologically arranging to have you on air. So keep calling. 0302 770 222 is actually the number to call. Let's hear you, Abdul.
No, I was saying WhatsApp is not necessarily free because you need to have data in order to do it. So you're doing it over the internet and you are paying for your internet. So it's not necessarily free to do WhatsApp. But you're asking me what, I think basically the groups that I told you are the major groups within which, that SMS is used for. So we either use it for marketing, people use it